Have you ever played a board game and thought to yourself, man, I wish the sun told me to be more racist all the time? Well then, this is the video for you. I love board games. Old ones, complicated ones, modern ones, weird ones. Put that in my veins. You can usually find me at some kind of gaming convention crawling around like a gremlin. Now, I always thought it'd be cool to go ahead and design my own game. But the problem is how my brain usually works is that I will get hyper-focused on something, but I can't aim what I'm focused on. Like trying to figure out the whole lore of the Garfield pizza place and the guy who's absolutely insane that runs it. Or used to run it. Or insert random Sonic the Hedgehog thing here. So honestly, I can say with a lot of confidence that making a game probably isn't in the cards for me anytime soon. Which is why I kind of want to talk about somebody who actually started really good, they actually had the focus, and then all of a sudden blew it all away when they thought the sun was talking to them and decided that yes, they are in fact racist. This is the story of Katalyka, a crazy board game Kickstarter that was ruined by the sun.
On top of the level of creativity it takes to design a game, there is also the financial side of things. Most games have some kind of parent company or sponsor, so an average Joe game dev isn't going to be able to sink into product costs, game plans, or even distribution costs, etc. But that's where crowdfunding sites like GoFundMe, Indiegogo, and Kickstarter are extremely helpful to those independent developers. In 2011, a small but ambitious project was put forth by a game dev going by Molly Friedrich. This is for a game called Katalyka. It looks like they just dumped a Scrabble bag of tiles out and just said, yep, that's the name, so I'm just going to call it Katalyka. The game itself is fine, it looks fun. The game is a 1 to 4 player board game set in space as a resource management type of game, similar to like Catan if Catan were in space. And I know there is a space Catan, but that's not the point. Molly describes it as a cross between Risk and Magic the Gathering. Well, if it's like Magic the Gathering, then game nights are going to be plagued with people taking butt crack shots, and if it's like Risk, then my family is definitely not invited. We still don't talk about what happened on New Year's Eve in 2005. The game looked pretty cool. On the Kickstarter, they asked for $7,500, which is a pretty modest goal. It had several pictures, couple like paragraphs on how the game worked. They made a little over that goal with 85 backers from July 4th, 2011 to August 18th, 2011. So not bad, mostly due to how gorgeous the art of this game was. After the project was funded, months passed. The project was late and people were starting to get kind of impatient. Finally, Molly posted a photograph of her first prototype. She promised that shipping would start within a week or two. Then 3, then 4, then nothing. Silence. Again, people are starting to get impatient. Now, delays are common on Kickstarter, but this was starting to try everyone's patience. Well, out of the blue, on June 3rd, 2012, Molly made an interesting post explaining some of the delay issues. Ever since about December, I've been harassed by a voice that is claiming to be the sun, and it's been attacking me and harassing me almost every hour of the day. This is the best way I can explain what I am going through. If anyone has any advice or can offer help with this problem, it was not really what I was looking for, and it was very much not what I was told making this game was going to be like last year when I started working on it. The voice says, the Sun doesn't want you to publish Katalyka because it wants to be almost exactly like Katalyka, but keep it all a secret. If you publish your game, it's going to let people know on too many secrets.
Well, this is getting weird.
Totally normal thing, right? Up until this point, it had been pretty much just normal updates, like issues with the cardstock or printing costs, but now Skyball has an issue with her. However, even Molly understood that it didn't really make sense for an inanimate celestial body 100 million miles away would be contacting her about a silly board game. She was showing clear signs of auditory hallucinations, and before you shit on me for making a video making fun of the mentally ill, I'm not. I'll get to why in a bit, so put a pin in your cancel fit. People in her comments would beg her to seek help, some even giving her some genuine advice. I didn't see a whole lot of jerk responses to the initial Sun stuff, which is actually saying something. Imagine if this meltdown happened on 4chan. Okay, well, except for this one interaction.
It is time, Molly. You have ignored me for long enough. My great radiance can no longer wait. Go forth and fulfill the prophecy. Buy 30 gallons of gasoline. Light a nearby school on fire to show your devotion. Unleash the power of the sun.
Fucking stop. I already told you I won't.
Do not finish the game. Take the money. Buy a sniper rifle. Kill all those who displease me. I am your master. Obey me.
Despite this interesting bit of Sun lore, updates and production continued on like nothing had happened. Maybe she was getting help and went back to focusing on the game and oh wait, never mind. On January 18th, 2013, she posted this giant-ass red flag. The spiritual side of this has been calming down a lot in the last month or two, as we've been working through some of our more complex details behind the spiritual plasma attacks that have been trying to destroy me since 2008. I actually feel confident that I've been able to figure out pretty much everything that I needed to, and the record in my journals is a full enough account of things that is now just a waiting game on my part before all the cascades go out and the attacks on me end completely. For anyone that is concerned about the game is finished. The supplies are 95% bought, it's all in climate-controlled storage, and I'm just waiting for an opportunity to print up the cards, which is something I couldn't do because of the harassment. Basically, the US Navy has been putting up transmitter systems all over the place to control the plasma transition so that it can try to use information as a weapon. Apparently, I recorded some things in my game that were a reference to Navy weapons without knowing that, and so I became a target. I am mostly trying to help educate them and others about these issues in my journal, which has been going all right for the most part. Apologies on the delays as always. This has been far more frustrating to me than to any of you. You may be fearing that you've lost some of your money. You haven't. The game is still happening, just delayed. But I've been afraid that I've lost everything in my life, including my eternal soul, when I started getting attacked. Molly. The Sun, Spiritual Plasma, and the United States Navy have teamed up in the weirdest NCIS fanfiction to attack poor Molly. If you can't tell, Molly's clearly not well. Her community would beg her and to seek help once again, and she would just either ignore it or return it with equal psychobabble / insane rantings. Normally, I do not condone the kind of harassment or negative talk about the harassment issues, but here's where we can take that pin out that I was talking about earlier. At this point, she has taken money. She has been given money for goods and or services, so now she is actively stealing. And for the record, it appears that Molly is not just doing this in board games for Kickstarters. She's apparently a well-known commissions thief and runs away with money for things like custom steampunk props, gear, and outfits. You're noticing a pattern? And I know it's the same Molly because she does mention the Kickstarter at some point in the DMs. In that same commission that these DMs are from, apparently after being hounded to actually do their job and make what she was asked to, Molly would drag her feet for what felt like basically an eternity and told the person who made the commission eventually after all of this, saying she has a disability for a reason, and I quote, "I guess karma keeps me from doing anything for you because it wants to teach you something about trying to glorify your disability." I guess then she told this person that she won't be mating or having children as part of a punishment. Like, what the actual fuck? Any semblance of pity I had is gone after reading these messages. You could almost watch her decline in real time as she turned her whole Kickstarter page into like a life blog where she would update stuff like her move or trips or plasma attacks from Jethro Gibbs or something. Despite attacks from the spiritual realm, multiple accidents, theft, and apparently being homeless at one point, she was supposedly, heavy quotations, still trying to get the game out. So, I mean, she was still kind of trying, kind of. I felt like I needed to say something at least a little bit nice there. But yeah, she was still trying to get the game out, game had been expected 2011 and early 2012 release, but it is way past that at this point. Several fucking years of this nonsense of alien attacks, car accidents, multiple moves posted to her blogs, but diddly squat sent out to people who paid her almost $8 fucking grand. In 2014, a handful of people actually did receive physical copies of Katalyka. I mean, it's a couple years late, but they at least received copies. I mean, this guy looks happy, and overall the product looks kind of cool. However, it would turn out that this guy would basically be owning a collector's item, as not many were sent out. The next update would occur in 2018. A handful of the 85 backers had a copy of the game. Others were sent this weird Eternal War of the Candy Kingdoms game that no one asked for. Literally, it didn't make its funding goals. Twice! It looks fun, like a tarot card deck-building Candyland game, but it's literally what the Katalyka fans did not ask for, especially considering that they paid for Katalyka and are now getting scammed with this Lollipop Guild bullshit. I guess she just got bored of Katalyka and thought this new shiny thing is better than the old shiny thing. People were reasonably confused. However, she does give some reasons why Katalyka was a failed game. If you go to the Candy Games Kickstarter page, a lot of the issues line up with some of the issues she says on the Katalyka page as well. Basically, she said that the game drove her sane. I think she meant to write insane, because if she was driven sane, I think we would have gotten the game by now. She says there were a lot of production issues and that she doesn't use her games to coerce or manipulate anyone, and that the Candy Game is for any age, race, or religion. Really odd way to put that. Her standard crazy babble is present here as well, so thank goodness the game didn't make her too sane. Oh cool, we can learn about Kickstarter's accountability. Kind of fitting on this page. 2018, a YouTuber, Slopes, would come out with a video about Katalyka, which didn't paint Molly in the best light. Slopes generally covers Kickstarters that turn rather scammy. Molly's Kickstarter feels like an appropriate inclusion there. She does give an interview with Slopes, and it's wild, and it's just insane. She literally cannot stay on topic, and it's clear there are some other issues that need to be addressed. In the interview with Slopes, she cannot stay on topic. When asked just a basic question about the board game, she goes on a rant about gender conformity, completely unprovoked. Meanwhile, Slopes is literally just here just talk about the fucking card game, Molly. It's not that complicated. I bring up this interview because on March 21st, 2018, Molly gives us a pretty interesting update. She addresses it briefly. Hey y'all. Some of you may have seen the video claiming this Kickstarter is a failure and generally painting me up to look completely insane. So I just wanted to respond here and also let you all know to still expect a copy of Eternal War of Candy Realms, printed and sent at my loss to apologize to everyone that didn't get a copy of Katalyka. Cool, I guess. I mean, I'm sure people would have preferred the game they bought, but sure. Now, why that game and not Katalyka? Partly due to costs, but mostly because I feel it's a way better game in every aspect. I stand by Katalyka being fun and a decent game though. She goes on saying stuff about selling Legos online, personally meeting Gary Gygax, being a big shot on eBay, but now she sounds a lot more like a delusional lol cow if you ask me. But hey, I'm not the expert here. I haven't met Gary Gygax, so I can't talk. She goes on to say that the sun was not part of the issue as to why the game failed. So it's a good thing that the sun wasn't the problem. I mean, not much she could do if it was. What's she gonna do? Fight the sun?
What, are we gonna fight the sun?
After some legitimate gripes and the general weirdness that we've become accustomed to, Molly then says, oh no. Oh, no. As for the accusations that I am racist, I am. I firmly believe that blacks are superior because I've burned in UV as far back as I can remember. I'd love to be able to run around outside and not burn. My mom has sun allergy worse than I do, to the point where she takes medication for it. I didn't invent race, so please don't expect me to pretend I don't burn in UV. Maybe that light sensitivity is what led to the argument I got caught up between part of the sun and carbon. I don't know. So apparently the sun made her racist because she gets sunburnt or has a sun allergy. And Frankly, I have no idea why she felt compelled to put that on one of the updates about her board game. Don't get me wrong, that's a real thing. There's a whole episode of House about it and everything, but the racist thing is so insanely out of pocket. Let's just move on. Okay, that insane diatribe aside, she says she does reach out to Dan Ebertson, aka Slopes, saying he makes comedy videos, not journalistic ones, so yeah, but... I mean, also, he didn't say anything incorrect either. That being said, she does say if you didn't get a copy of Katalyka, long story short, you're not getting one. Instead, have these Candy Dragon games instead. Which is a shame, because I kind of want to play Katalyka. It looks pretty fun. Anyone who has one, reach out to me on Twitter and we can work something out. Molly continued to use this platform to talk about the Candy game until November 2023, where she came out with a ridiculous final update. She lists her grievances and issues that she had over the game, like the printer issues, being homeless, postal issues, and the Seymour family betraying her. What did Principal Skinner do to you? In this rant, she would gaslight her backers, saying it failed because of them. She would go on a hypothetical rant and say it's because people like the backers, they didn't have any plan for her. Like, the backers' responsibility is apparently supposed to plan for Molly's future. Then she says that the backers accuse her of racism? That we wanted her to fail because of false allegations and being unsafe around children? I'm sorry, what? I did a ton of research, and outside of people saying do not commission with Molly, I saw nothing about unsafe with children allegations. She goes on to say that she exposed the black culture about using UV light to attack her, and that no white person or Asian has ever turned into black people naturally. It goes on so long, my voice actors that usually help me refused to read it, just because it was so insanely long. More racism stuff, and she adds some weird self-inserted fanfiction on being an intersexed angel, some kind of plant lore, saying she introduced the world to pink or green, saying she's the fair huntress of the garden. I feel like reading all this is making something grow inside of me.
This is not okay. This needs to stop now.
She ends it eloquently with, "You were essentially accusing me of being a normal woman on the pink throne. You set me up to fail because you didn't want to deal with the success I already had. Goodbye, Miss Molly." These rants are like asbestos, and I am an unmonitored toddler in God's construction site. After this final update, Molly more or less was gone from the internet at this point. She deleted her DeviantArt and basically just went dark. And I think really this is more of a tale of a woman who needs help and either never got any by choice or by circumstances, and then tried to make something cool from her head, but she may have saw the money and might have took it and ran, maybe. And I don't think she's faking this either, because she's pretty consistent across the boards on her rants. Honestly, the Fair Huntress, or whatever lore that she said, would maybe make a cool book. I'd read it. I just hope that she gets help and finds a way to live her life. Molly's still floating around in the ether out there in Cyberland, and I just hope she gets the help she needed. Kickstarters are cool, but even the most promising things can be ruined by your own inner demons. Or the sun. Thank you for watching as always. I've been your beautiful host, the Lorelock, feeding you another brainless rabbit hole you didn't ask for, and I hope you enjoyed it. Consider leaving a like or subscribing, it'd be mighty kind of you if you did. I'll leave you with one bit of advice here before I go. If you ever think of something cool and you want to get it off the ground, but a celestial being is telling you to buy 30 gallons of gasoline, don't. Anyway, thanks for watching, and as always, cheers.